Good morning, everybody. Ira Prepper here. Starting off our preparation series with a few thoughts. And we're going to start with a very basic thought. And it's, what do you have right now? Now, it would be nice to have 20 years worth of freeze-dried food put back somewhere, countless rounds of ammunition, and every gadget and gimmick ever devised, ever invented. However, most of us don't have the resources, either financial or space limitations, that prevent us from doing that. So, from a realistic standpoint, look around your house, your apartment, your garage, whatever you've got, wherever you live. What do you have right now to get you through the week, the month, the year? Do you have shelf-stable food that'll feed you for 3 days? Just something to think about. Power outage or winter storms. Winter is coming. What are we looking at from the standpoint of what can I eat that doesn't require cooking or require a lot of work? Baking a turkey for 8 hours is a lot harder and takes a lot more resources than opening a can of ravioli. And it's a little funky to eat cold, but you can do it. But I digress. So what do you have? Do you need a -40 sleeping bag? Or can you make do with a pile of blankets and a couple comforters? Do you have the means to keep the heat in? And sometimes that's as simple as, yes, just like your kids used to do, making a pillow fort in the living room, Think about that. Making a tent over your sleeping area to keep the heat in. Where do you think the canopy beds came from? It was to hold heat in, so you weren't trying to heat the entire room. Comfort. Do you have the means to have enough water for 3 days or a week on hand? And it could be as simple as filling up the bathtub and adding a little bleach. Yeah, it doesn't taste great, but it'll keep you alive. Do you have bottled water? Do you have jugs of water? What do you have for you, your pets, and even your neighbors? Because quite honestly, if we let our charity, call it Christian charity, call it kindness, call it empathy, go away, what have we lost in the long run? So, think about what you have around you. Do you need a giant combat knife? You got a kitchen knife? If you look at the design of the original Bowie knife, it was just a big kitchen knife. So, something to think about. You got a good chef's knife? It'll work. It'll work quite well, in fact. If you need something for defense or for cutting a roast. Take an inventory. How many rolls of toilet paper do you have? Our recent shortages tell us that we probably need more than 2 rolls on the shelf, especially with what's looking like another shortage coming up. Do you have paper towels? Do you have paper plates? Because it's a lot easier to dispose of a paper plate than to keep washing dishes. That soap is better used to keep your hands and body clean. So is the water. Looking at Yugoslavia during the Baltic issue problems in the early 90s. The water shortages there created problems washing, medical issues, and the like. And one of the problems was you didn't have enough water to bathe, to keep yourself clean. No running water. Where do you get it? Well, you can try and get down to the river or the lake, but then that water is generally pretty nasty, especially then and there. If you collect rainwater, what's in the rainwater? What's coming off the shingles and the roof? To have the means to purify it, to clean it, to filter out the junk. And it might be as simple as a couple layers of t-shirt, some charcoal, and letting it seep through to get most of the major impurities out. What do you have to start along the way? You don't need a 4,000-pound bug-out bag. Just sit in your house. Now, might you need a hurricane bag or a tornado bag, or just a I got to get out of town for 3 days bag? Personal emergencies happen. Family goes to the hospital. You may have to jump on a plane and go to another place to go visit someone on a short notice. Do you have a bag packed? That hotel bag really is a bug-out bag in a lot of respects. It just doesn't have all the common survivalist items in it. It's as simple as throwing together a gym bag and leaving it packed. And for most people and most reasons, it's about ideal. So, think about that. 2020 is shaping up to be an interesting year, a year we'll probably all like to forget. But it's not over yet. Rough winter is forecast. Europe is looking at more lockdowns. Parts of the U.S. still haven't opened up. Think about what you need to do to get through the night, to get through 3 days, 3 nights, to get through a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. At what point are we looking at having to worry about personal security? At what point are we looking at having to worry about things never reopening, which is a horrible thought? Are we looking at a 1930s level depression again? Do you have a job? Do you still have a job? How are you going to pay your bills? I can't answer those questions. You need to look at your life and what is happening to you, around you, and what you have to work with. So, think about it. Look around, look at what you have, look at what you need. Start there. I don't need 100 pounds of salt right now. Iodized or other. Do I need another snow shovel? Potentially. Do I need 3 cords of wood? Maybe. The question becomes, what do you need to keep you going? If I lived in Florida, the answers are completely different. Same for Texas, but I don't. I live in the mountains. But I live in the city, a small city, but a city in the mountains. So my needs are different than someone who lives in Atlanta. Look at what you need. Look at what it takes for you to survive and to continue where you are. After that, think about what you can do differently. Again, that powered attitude. What is another source for food? Another source for water? Another source for heat? Just because you have a fireplace doesn't mean you're burning anything. Just because you have a generator doesn't mean you'll be running it or be able to run it. Look at your life and adjust. it ain't always smooth sailing. All right, have a great day. All right, we're out.